Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are LA.
It's a star-spangled day, and there's no better way to spend the 4th of July than with family enjoying America's game. The Redbirds lit up the scoreboard last night, but the Halos have won 7 of their last 8 and look for some fireworks of their own tonight. Cardinals, Angels, next. Perfect night for baseball here in Southern California. A very happy 4th of July from Gooby and myself and our crew here at Fox Sports West. It's the rubber game of the series tonight between the St. Louis Cardinals. Hi, everybody, from inside the Big A. Cuba's on. Victor Rojas, so glad you could join us once again for Angels baseball here on Fox Sports West. A couple of nights ago, the Angels turned the ball over to Jared Weaver, and the Halos picked up game 1. Last night, the St. Louis Cardinals countered with Shelby Miller, who threw strikes and really pounded the strike zone and picked up a W. Tonight, different pitching matchup. Joe Blanton, who's thrown the ball well. Adam Wainwright, who has thrown the ball well for the last couple of years.
Yeah, Victor, it's going to be up to Joe Blanton early on to put up some zeros. He's been throwing the ball very well of late. His fastball command has been very good, and because of that, his changeup and his curveball and his slider have been very effective. The strikeouts have been there, the walks have been down, the totals. He's been very good around the plate. He's going to have to be very good, especially early on. Adam Wainwright throws a dominating two-seam fastball. He's got a very good slider, throws a nasty cut fastball, keeps the ball in the ballpark. So you're going to try to bunch hits together. 11-5 mark. He's 8-1 on the road to NL Pitcher of the Month for the month of June. But going back to Joe Blanton, he's pitched the ball very well his last 3 starts. ERA 2.14. He's throwing a lot of strikes, changing speeds exceptionally well, which you have to do against this Cardinal lineup. Stop it's a fastball, but then get him out with off-speed, whether it's a changeup or slow curveball, to get him out in front.
Now let's see what the Angels offense can muster against Adam Wainwright. It is a perfect night for baseball here. A big crowd on hand. We are just about ready for baseball here at the Big A. Sit back and relax. Even pop a cold one. We're going to have the lineups and the first pitch when we return. Angels baseball is brought to you by Hyundai. Through July 7th, get a great deal on a new Elantra at Hyundai's 4th of July sales event. By Corona, who invites you to find your beach. And by Mercury Insurance. Get 2 Angels tickets with a fast, free auto insurance quote from Mercury Insurance. Log on to angels.com/Mercury to learn more.
And I'm giving a shout out from Kabul, Afghanistan to my hometown of Ontario, California, and my family, Mom, Dad, Megan, and Midori. You guys are my rally monkeys, and I love and miss you guys, and I'll be home soon. But until then, let's give a Go Angels on 3. 1, 2, 3, Go Angels.
Thanks a lot, Marissa. Happy 4th of July to you and all of our troops serving around the world.
That was so cool.
Absolutely. Perfect night for baseball. And I'll tell you what, this place is going to be rocking tonight. A lot of red, white, and blue in the house. And the Angels wearing the different caps today. And pretty cool looking caps, as a matter of fact. Throughout Major League Baseball, every team's wearing the stars and stripes. And I like how Major League Baseball has kind of differentiated the hats on the different occasions so far this year.
Yeah, we saw a different one on Memorial Day weekend. But I think it's a great thing what baseball has done with these hats. Look for them. Certainly a collector's item for fans.
Joe Bland and the Angels taking the field, and that means we'll take a look at the St. Louis Cardinals, and they're starting 9 tonight. The Cardinals in second place in the National League Central Division, 2 games back of the division leading Pittsburgh Pirates at the start of the day with a 50-33 record. They will have Matt Carpenter leading things off, playing second base. Carlos Beltran is out in right field. Matt Holliday sees action for the first time in this series. He'll serve as a DH tonight. Alan Craig is in left. Yadier Molina is doing the catching. Matt Adams over at first base. David Freese, who had been the DH the first 2 days, is over at the hot corner. Daniel Descalso, the third baseman the first 2 days, moves over to shortstop, and John Jay will bat ninth and play center field. Taking on Joe Bland, 2-10 mark, a 5.07 ERA, but that changeup and the breaking pitch has been very, very effective for him of late.
Yeah, especially those last 3 games. We talked about that in the opening. ERA 2.14 for him, 3-2 in his career versus the Cardinals with an ERA just over 4. Command of his fastball, important early on, and then utilizing those great off-speed pitches that he has a feel for against a left-handed batter and right-handed batter.
Defensively for the Angels behind Joe Bland, you've got J.B. Shuck in left, Mike Trout in center, Josh Hamilton in right. The infield consists of Alberto Callasco, Eric Ibar, Howie Kendrick, and Mark Trumbo from third to first. Hank Conger getting his second consecutive start.
And Eric Ibar at shortstop. Especially Joe Bland's been doing a good job as far as getting ground ball outs. Last 43 games for Ibar, just 2 errors. He's turned 30 or been involved in 30 double plays. Very good throwing arm, very good range to the backhand and to the glove side for Eric Ibar.
Halos took game 1 of this 3-game set on Tuesday night, 5-1 behind Jared Weaver's 7 strong innings. Weaver picking up his second win of the season. Last night, a 7-run second inning against Jerome Williams put the Angels behind the 8 ball, eventually losing 12-2. Shelby Miller picked up his 9th win. Jerome took the loss and is now 5-4 on the season. Matt Carpenter ready to lead things off. St. Louis last night, by the way, 13 hits against the Angels. Carpenter had 3 of them. 3 for 6. Single, a double, and a home run. It's the first one tonight. He is in there for a strike. Carpenter hitting .324 on the year. 8 home runs, 35 runs batted in. Has 25 doubles and 3 triples. He is third in the National League in batting average. Yadier Molina leads with a .352 average. His plan is ahead of the count at 0-2.
Yeah, Carpenter's done a real good job of hitting pitches where they're located. He can turn on the pitch on the inner half, but fastballs away, tries to serve in the left field, and he does have that capability of extra base hit type swings.
.02 is inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss, and there's that off-speed pitch, and there's the first out of the ball game.
Boy, outstanding running action on his changeup. There's some hard pitches that pitched before, cut fastball in, backs it up with a great changeup, running away. Good location, good job by Hank Conger, setting that target down and away. Blanton accomplishes hitting that spot.
So 1 out, nobody on. It's Carlos Beltran at the plate. Got to start out at right field in the first 3 games of the series, and all 3 games of the series, I should say. The pitch missed inside. Beltran 0 for 3 yesterday. Did draw a walk and scored a run, hitting .304 as he loops this one out towards shallow center. Beltran has a hit, second of the series. Puts a man on for Matt Holliday.
and then hit it well and placed it perfectly in center field for a base hit. Matt Holliday coming up against Joe Bland. Pretty good numbers. 385 batting average, but he has grounded into 20 double plays this year.
Holliday missed the first 2 games of the series with a stiff neck. 267, has 11 home runs, 41 runs batted in. Decent numbers against Joe Bland in his career. Big healthy rip there on that fastball.
Yeah, you want to try to keep that fastball down. That's the pitch he can drive to right center field. Try to go off speed, keep it down, get a ground ball. Real good opportunity to turn it a double play.
This is driven out toward left center field. Mike Trout drifting back just shy of the track. Now stepping onto the cinders, makes the grab for out number 2.
Just inside enough to keep that one in the ballpark. And Matt Holliday's always been a fastball hitter. He's always had a tough time with sliders and curveballs. So if you're throwing him a fastball, it's got to be just to set up your off speed against him. He had 2 good swings at fastballs in that sequence against Blanton.
So 2 outs, Beltran over at first base. Here's Alan Craig, the left fielder. Craig yesterday went 1 for 1, had a couple of walks, was hit by a pitch. Also picked up a single. 323 batting average, 9 home runs, and 63 runs batted in. He taps that one foul. Cardinals with 3 guys in the top 10 batting average with Molina, Carpenter, and Craig. Craig still second in RBIs behind Paul Goldschmidt of the Diamondbacks. There's Yachty.
Well, Alan Craig's 3 for 4 in his career versus Joe Blanton with 2 home runs.
Oh, that little cutting action there at the very end.
Yeah, he threw that fastball, an inside cutter on him. That inside cut fastball off the end of the bat, started in, gets the outside part of the plate.
Oh, 2 on the way. Bouncer foul.
0-2 changeup in, down. Good spot. That's one thing Joe's really got a good feel for, is the changeup in on right-handed batters. As long as he keeps it down like that, very difficult for a hitter, if they make contact, to keep it fair.
Short lead for Beltran over at first. Bland will give him a check. Base hit with 1 out here. The first just underway. Carpenter with a strikeout. Beltran with a single. And Holliday, the fly ball to deep center field. Oh, 2 just off the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bland picked up his 2nd win of the season last time out, 29th against Houston at Minute Maid. 2 runs, 3 hits, 7 innings of work, 6 strikeouts, 2 walks. 99 pitches. Start prior to that was right here. We gave up 1 earned run in 7 1/3 against the Pirates. There's a called strike, 3 down goes Craig. And Bland picks up a couple of strikeouts. We'll head to the bottom of the first with no score. For 4th of July, a good barbecue in, enjoying our telecast. Take a look at the Angels starting 9. As presented by manager Mike Scioscia, the Angels 40-44 on the season. 3rd place, 8.5 back in the West. At the start of the day, J.B. Shuck leading things off at left, Mike Trout at center, Pujols serving as a DH once again. Josh Hamilton in right, Howie Kendrick in second, Mark Trumbo at first. Alberto Callaspo is at third base. Hank Conger behind the plate. And Eric Ivar batting 9th and playing shortstop as they take on the 31-year-old right-hander native of Brunswick, Georgia, by the name of Adam Wainwright.
Adam Wainwright, fastball 88-93, throws a very good cut fastball. Curveball, changeup, throws a lot of strikes. Does not walk many batters. There's 12 on the entire season for Wainwright.
J.B. Shuck will look at a strike. He does not waste a whole lot of time either. Just like Shelby Miller last night. Just gets the baseball and goes. JB had a 1-for-4 night last night, hitting .292 on the season. And misses in. Evens up the count at a ball and a strike. Shuck with 10 doubles, 1 triple, 20 runs batted in. Wainwright with 125 and 2/3 innings under his belt, 113 hits allowed. A bounce or foul.
Well, when you put these two pitchers together tonight, they've combined for just 30 walks in over 224 innings pitched. So both these pitchers around the strike zone a lot.
Breaking pitch, and he got him out in front. Shuck goes down swinging for the first out here in the first. We'll check out the Cardinals defensively. In the outfield, it's Craig J. and Beltran from left to right field. The infield consists of Freeze, Descalso, Carpenter, and Adams from third to first, and Molina is behind the plate again.
Yeah, Carpenter showing some pretty good range last night. He'll be very active with Wainwright. Doesn't give up many long balls. Just 4 home runs allowed, so a lot of ground ball action for Carpenter. 62nd start. He's been made 5 errors in that position. Has been involved in 48 double plays.
Trout will look at a strike. Mike 2 for 3 last night. Batting average of .315. Has 13 home runs, 53 runs batted in. Breaking pitch. Molina held it there. Adam Hamari calling the balls and strikes today. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. 25 doubles for Trout, 6 triples. One and two.
His ability to throw all 4 of his pitches in the strike zone, both sides of the plate, and generally down in the strike zone for Wainwright.
Molina sets up outside. It's broken bat roller over to first. Bobbled for a second by Adams. Wainwright is there. They get the out. It's a second here in the first. And as Albert steps to the plate, we'll take a look at our Hyundai key to the game.
Going a little Genesis, follow you, follow me. I think you have that the same type of approach as you had against Lynn. Bunch singles together. As Wainwright, like I mentioned before, there's 4 home runs allowed, so you need to be able to square up the baseball up the middle the other way, put those hits together to score some runs against them.
Albert hitting .244. Hitless in the series, 0 for 7. And the first one is a fastball in there for a strike. 13 home runs, 49 runs batted in for Albert.
I wonder if Wainwright stays exactly what the other Cardinal pitchers have done against Pujols. Go inside with the fastball.
Goes away with the breaking pitch. Evens up the count. Yeah, both Lynn and Miller getting ahead, and then all of a sudden throwing that 2-seamer down and in.
He underneath the hands of Pujols, unable to make contact, and if he does, it would be very difficult for him to keep it fair.
Ground ball to short. Scalzo has it. And a 1-2-3 inning for Adam Wainwright. 1 complete here at the Big A, and we are scoreless. 11 pitches. The entire Shuck Child and Pujols. As we start the second inning, it'll be Molina, Adams, and Freeze here in the second inning. Joe threw 13 pitches in the first inning, picked up a couple of strikeouts, gave up a hit. Yadier Molina hitting .352 on the year. Swings the first one, fouls it off to the right.
Yeah, he's going to be hacking, especially if first pitch is a fastball.
Not sure, but I think in every plate appearance so far in this series, he's swung at the very first pitch. 2 hits the first game. 3 for 4 last night. As he swings and misses on a little breaking ball. 0-2.
And now, if you're Blanton, you got to make sure this 0-2 pitch is out of the strike zone, because Molina has very good coverage both in and out, even behind in the count. Very comfortable being behind 0-2.
Now you've thrown up 2 pitches on the outside part of the plate, 2 different looks anyway. Would you go change up in?
I think I still go back away. I try to do a sinker in.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
The reason why I say go back away, because he, as a catcher, a lot of times you think along with a pitcher. So he was probably thinking in, so you go back out away against him, maybe a baseball or 2 off the plate.
Rolls this one foul. Count remains at a ball and 2 strikes.
And that's the one conversation I had with catchers. Always they're thinking about what they would put down in certain counts. So sometimes they get themselves out because they're thinking along with the pitcher.
Did he go around? He did not. Bill Miller, the first base umpire. Yadier Molina staring out at Joe Blanton.
Goes up and in with a fastball. Pretty close to going around also. But still, that's just a pitch inside.
Bouncer to short. Ibar comes charging in. 1 away. Let's take a look at the Kia standings. American League West. The Angels 8.5 at the start of the day. Oakland won today. The Halos drop a half game, needing to win to remain 8.5 back. Texas hosting the Seattle Mariners. That game is in the 5th. 1-0 Rangers.
It's pretty interesting the swing you see after a fastball in like that. Not hit well by Molina. Easy ground ball to shortstop. Well done by Blanton, pitching effectively inside.
Matt Adams takes outside. It's a 1 ball, no strike count of the big first baseman. 1 for 4 last night with an RBI. .311 hitter. 6 home runs and 21 runs batted in. Good breaking pitch from Joe.
Well, so far so good with this changeup in the game for Blanton. 84-mile-an-hour pitch. Changeup generally around 82 to 84 for Blanton. His curveball can drop into low 70s.
1-2, got him looking on the breaking ball. 2 down. 3rd strikeout for Blanton.
A great sequence of pitches for Blanton. Start off the pitch before that changeup, then throw a backdoor slider at 85, catching the corner.
David Freeze steps in. He's the 3rd baseman. He looks at his strike. Freeze 1 for 3 last night as a DH. .282 average. 5 home runs and 29 runs batted in. Blanton, of course, has plenty of experience against the Cardinals throughout his career. This one's fouled off to the right. An 0-2 count. This being his 9th career game, 8th start against the Cardinals, and overall, Joe with a 3-2 mark, a .434 ERA, 34 strikeouts.
Only 4 times in this game already. Here we're only in the 2nd inning, ahead of the count 0-2 for Blanton against Cardinal hitters.
Breaking pitch, almost got him to chase it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Conger sets up outside. It just misses away. 2-2.
Might not be a bad time to throw a fastball away now.
And he got him to chase it. Another off-speed pitch. 4 strikeouts now for Blanton. He has himself a 1-2-3 inning. We're scoreless. For the Angels to face Adam Wainwright. She's certainly celebrating the 4th of July.
Very patriotic.
Wainwright with a 1-2-3 first, including a strikeout as Hamilton takes inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Josh in the 4-hole. Had a 1-for-2 game last night, including a walk, hitting .225, 10 home runs, 29 runs batted in. And it's 2 balls and no strikes.
Hamilton 3 for 7 in his career versus Wainwright. It's a .429 batting average.
Two and 1. Wainwright, a tall drink of water. 6'7", lifts to 235. Slow breaking pitch misses outside. 3 balls and 1 strike.
Leader of this young pitching staff. Chris Carpenter used to be that leader. Wainwright learned a lot under Chris Carpenter. Now he's the leader of this staff. Signed a long-term extension earlier this year.
3-1 to Hamilton. This is fouled off. Yeah, 5 years, $97.5 million at the end of spring training.
20-game winner back in 2010. And had that elbow surgery. Tommy John missed the whole 2011 season.
Originally an Atlanta Brave, first round pick of the Braves. 3-2. That is a lead-off walk. Hamilton is on board for Howie Kendrick. Tonight before the game, that gentleman right there, Ronald E. Harris, lieutenant of U.S. Navy SEALs, threw out the ceremonial first pitch. Threw a strike to Howie Kendrick. He gets the honor of sitting in the dugout, hanging out with Mike Butcher. Here's a look at that ceremonial first pitch.
And a good changeup working. Trying to get Joe Blanton ready for the game.
And right on cue, Kendrick steps into the batter's box. 1-0. Howie 0 for 4 last night. .319 batting average, 9 home runs, 38 runs batted in. Angels managed just 6 hits last night. Miller gave up 5 of those, and that included the Conger home run. Butler gave up a single. Part of a double. That was to Mark Trumbull late in the game.
2-0.
And for being as tall as Wainwright is, he's very difficult to steal against. He's not allowed a stolen base this season. With Molina behind the plate, he's quick to the plate. Hit and run may be your best option as far as sending base runners against him.
Two balls and a strike. Outfield for the Cardinals, shading Kendrick the opposite way. Beltran toward the line at right. Jay toward the alley in right center.
Be a difficult play in right field, at least early on here. The sun going right in that spot. If you hit it high in the air or on the line, might be a difficult play for a right fielder for the first couple of innings of this game.
Two balls, two strikes. Hamilton over at first base. Leadoff walk for him. First base runner of the game for the Angels. This is off the end of the bat. Trickles foul. Still at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Wainwright, a Braves selection. 29th overall pick back in 2000. They got traded to St. Louis in 2003. Ray King and Jason Marquis in exchange for J.D. Drew and Eli Marrero. Trade has worked out very well for the St. Louis Cardinals.
And the Braves generally don't trade a lot of pitchers away.
No, especially a Georgia native. 2-2 again. This was looped down the right field line, but tails foul. Count remains at 2-2. Braves do a heck of a job of scouting and drafting, developing guys from that Georgia area.
Brian McCann, they're good catchers from the area. Hayward, they're a great right fielder from that area also. Got Adam Wainwright's ranks as far as the NL entered today. Wins second, ERA third, strikeouts right there, innings amongst the best also.
All right, gets jammed, rolls it over to second. That's a 4-6-3 double play, 2 outs. Ran that fastball in on the hands. Fans, on July 27th, Corona Light presents Kenny Chesney's No Shoes Nation Tour. Starring Kenny Chesney, Eric Church, Eli Young Band, and Casey Musgraves. Suite rentals are now on sale. To reserve your suite, just log on at angels.com/Chesney today. One swing of the bat, 2 outs, nobody on for Mark Trumbo. Kendrick rolling into his 13th double play that he's hit into this year. Breaking ball misses in. Mark had that double, as we pointed out, late in the game last night. 9th inning with 2 outs, 17th of the year. Finished tonight going 1 for 4. Looks at a strike.
Way out there, slow curveball, cut fastball. Catching the inside corner from Wainwright.
Just below the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Way out there, cut fastball, came in with a 2-seam fastball. Looked pretty good and then hit the spot. Didn't get the call though.
No score here in the second. 2 outs, nobody on. 2-1 pitch. Jumbo pops this one up behind the plate. Molina giving chase near the screen, makes the catch. The inning comes to an end. No runs, no hits, nobody left on. 2 complete here at the Big A, and we are scoreless. Your favorite World Series Game 6 home run, Joe Carter, Scott Spezia, or David Freese? Hashtags are below. Send us a tweet at Fox Sports West, and we will give you the updated totals for this series a little bit later on. Spezia's was in the lead as of last night.
When you look back at those Game 6 for the Angels and the Cardinals, magical games, huge home runs by both those guys to enable their clubs to win those Game 6 before winning Game 7.
Not overly surprising that on an Angels telecast, the Angels selection is in the lead.
No question.
Little bouncer towards short. Ibar's got it on 2 hops. Off balance throw, and there's out number 1 as Scalzo is retired for the first down here in the third. Up steps John Jay, the center fielder. Blanton so far 4 strikeouts, 1 hit. Beltran with a looping single out to center in the first. This one shot foul. 0-1 count on Jay. Hitting .243. Has 5 home runs, 36 RBIs after 2 for 6 last night. Picked up his 5th home run. That's the one that went off the glove of Mike Trout in center field. 2-run home run. Got a total of 3 RBIs. That perhaps changes the game a little bit, as we talked about late last night. If Trout comes up with that baseball, it's a 4-0 lead in the second, and the Angels coming to bat as opposed to the evolution of the rest of the inning and it becoming a 7-0 deficit.
And there's no question that changed the course of the game for the Cardinals. Became more aggressive. Jerome had a tough time after that point throwing strikes. Still a very difficult play as Trout went back on that baseball with the collision with the wall and the glove at the same time. Hard to hold on to the baseball.
Good off speed and location. 2-2 now.
You go back to that play last night. He had to go a long way. Like Trout in center field, timed to lead perfectly as he went up there to catch the baseball off the wall. His wrist glove collided with the baseball at the same time.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Called strike 3. Down goes Jay, and we have 2 outs here to third.
That backdoor slider has been very effective for Blanton. Gets in the lower part of the strike zone. Now look at that Fox track just in the sequence. All those pitches around the quadrants of the strike zone against John Jay. Then a perfect pitch to finish them off from Blanton.
Matt Carpenter, the leadoff man, looks at a strike. He punched out swinging in the first.
So far a changeup hits the outside corner, followed up with a fastball just off the outside corner.
Carpenter with a 12-game hitting streak right now. 389 during that span. 1-2.
Then he runs that 2-seam fastball starting at the hip and catches the corner inside. Carpenter may have thought it was a little bit high and out of the strike zone, but certainly got the inside corner.
In the air toward right field. Hamilton is there to make the grab. And the inning comes to an end. We head to the bottom of the third with no score.
Baseball, the headlines. Verlander hopes to regain magic in Toronto. He's been struggling a little bit of late in Matt Garza's sweepstakes. Who will land Garza as far as helping their club get to that next level and get to the postseason?
Hopefully it's a National League team, just because his time of game is usually very long. He is a patient man on the mound.
Yeah, there's no question about that.
Alberto Callaspo leading things off, swings at the first one, rolls one through on the right side, sneaking it through between Adams and Carpenter, and it's the first hit of the night for the Angels.
And now it's time for our AT&T Uverse Rewind. Hopefully we'll see the same thing today as we saw last night from Hank Conger with a runner on. Via the walk, Conger gets up, pitch up in the strike zone, and drives it out to right center field, his 5th home run, giving him 13 RBI in the season. Man on first tonight with another opportunity for a 2-run home run.
Short, compact, under control swing by Hank always.
Always looking for the single.
Yeah. Looks at his strike. Conger 1 for 3 with that home run. A .267 batting average. Has 5 now on the year. 5 home runs, 13 RBIs. .297 from the left side of the plate. So 2.
We start him off with a cut fastball followed by a 2-seam fastball. Well, you still have to think in terms of hard stuff against Wainwright. Cut fastball, fastball in general. When you combine those totals, that nearly 70% of his pitches are going to be a variety of a fastball.
And he got him on the breaking pitch. 1 out. Second strikeout for Wainwright. Brings up Eric Ibar.
This is why you attack a fastball, because you don't want to deal with trying to make contact with this curveball that he has. Generally, that's what he's going to get his punch outs with, his curveball.
Ibar hitting .282 on the season after going 0 for 2 last night as they check in on Callaspo.
Pretty amazing for Wainwright to be a strikeout type pitcher when he's generally down around the knees with his fastball, cut fastball. Now has 116 strikeouts in 128 innings pitched. Generally, strikeout pitchers are up in the zone with their fastball, 4-seam fastball, and big curveballs.
This one's popped up. Molina would give it a look, but runs out of room. Catch down there. A 1 count on Eric. But you figure too, with Wainwright and the few opportunities that you're going to get to drive a baseball against him, that's how good he is and how good he has been. And David Freese at third and Adams at first, and speed guys might look to drop a bunt. I know Wainwright's a very good fielder.
Yeah, but you have to make him feel the ball off the mound. His corner infielders aren't going to be there as quick. Better opportunity to get a hit. You have to bunch hits together against Wainwright. He did have 1 walk. He walked Hamilton in the 2nd inning, but he doesn't walk many batters, so you have to get those hits and bunch them together to score runs. Again, doesn't walk batters, doesn't give up many home runs, but he will give up singles. You have to bunch them together.
Complete game win the last time out against Oakland. 1 run, 5 hits, and 8 strikeouts in that one against the Athletics. This one's looped out toward left center field. That's a base hit. Callaspo will round second. He will slam on the brakes and head back to second. Alan Craig got to that baseball quickly. So the Angels with a couple of base runners on here with 1 out and Shuck coming up.
Yeah, good swing by Ibar. Alan Craig played this very well also. This fastball was elevated. That's what you got to try to do against Wainwright. Be able to get through the baseball and go the other way. Good swing from Ibar. But Craig did a nice job of getting his body around in the throwing position just in case Callaspo was going to think about going to third. You see how he squared his body up very quickly to make a throw, an accurate throw towards third.
Shuck struck out on a breaking pitch in the first innings. He's 0 for 1. Bunts this one back toward the mound. Wainwright fires the first, and they get him. 2 outs. But if that ball's down the line,
that's a hit. Because that was a close play anyhow. It was bunted almost right back to Wainwright. But this is what you want. You want an opportunity for Mike Trout to come up against Wainwright here with 2 guys in scoring position. Took a good throw from Wainwright to get Shuck at first.
Sacrifice bunt for J.B. Shuck. 2 outs. Runners at second and third. There's Mike Trout.
Still believe this is a good matchup for Trout. A guy that throws a lot of fastballs. They're down in the zone, and Trout's very quick on pitches both down and in and down and away.
Mike bounced out to Adams, the first baseman in the first inning. Swings the first one, lines one into center. Callaspo will score. Ibar's being waved in, and the Angels have a 2-0 lead.
And there you go, the matchup you want. You bunch some singles together in this inning, scored 2 runs with 3 hits. Good job by Shuck, advancing both runners into scoring position, and Mike Trout coming through once again. Now have 55 RBI on the season with that base hit up the middle. You see how quick he is. Up the middle and easily scoring 2 runs.
And looking for that fastball. First pitch, getting it, driving it right back up the box. So J.B. Shuck's sacrifice bunt pays dividends, and here's Albert Pujols still looking for that first hit against his former mates. 0 for 1 tonight with a ground ball to short.
Again, you're never satisfied against Wainwright. You got to keep pressing the issue. This might be a time where you might see Trout steal early in the count, even though Wainwright is extremely fast to the plate. Trout with 20 stolen bases on the season.
Albert fouls that one off to the right. Off the plate, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike.
He's starting to get a little bit better feel for his curveball. That's why when you get a fastball, if you're Pujols, you have to do some damage to it, but don't swing at something out of the strike zone. The first pitch looked like it was off the plate in a way.
Staying away from him, at least that's where Molina's at. This one's chopped over to third. Now this is low throw, and Adams hangs on to the baseball, and Pujols is retired. Pujols kind of peeling off that baseball, but the Angels strike for 2 here in the third, courtesy of Mike Trout, lead at 2-0. Actually scored, he and I. Mike Trout to give the Angels a 2-0 lead as we start the fourth inning. 2, 3, and 4 for the Cardinals here. And Carlos Beltran takes outside for ball 1. Beltran had a single into center field in the first inning. The only hit allowed by Blanton so far. So he's 1 for 1. Matt Holliday on deck. Alan Craig after that.
Well, Beltran's had himself a tremendous career.
No doubt.
I still remember that playoff series he had as a member of the Houston Astros. That got him that big contract with the Mets.
Seems how that worked out nicely in his walk here. 2 balls and a strike. Originally a Kansas City Royal. Rookie of the Year back in 1999. Now 36 years of age and 32 home runs for the Cards last year. He's got 19 this year and the average over 300. 2-1. This was shot through the hole, and Beltran is 2 for 2 tonight. In the summer, the Angels and Denny's are partnering with local libraries to encourage students to take part in the Rally Readers program to promote reading among children. Kids 5 to 13 are eligible to become members and can be registered to win great prizes. For more info and to register your child, just log on at angels.com/community.
Well read again.
2 for 2. Matt Holliday steps in 0 for 1. Took Blanton to the warning track at center field in the first inning.
Well, he just looks like he's geared up for a fastball. And he got 2 fastballs from Blanton. He had a good swing. The first fastball fouled it back and just missed. The other one, Trout ran it down.
Oh, 1.
Well, sometimes as a catcher, you can look up and see what the batter's trying to do. And Holliday's up there to squeeze in the bat. He's looking for a fastball. You got to use that against him as a pitcher by going off speed or change up a curveball. You see that swing? He was geared up for a fastball, then way out in front on a slider. Well, you see him just squeezing the bat. He's geared up for a fastball.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Holliday now 5 for 14 in his career against Blanton, has a couple of home runs.
Remember George Bell being that way with Toronto. He was geared up. You could see him just wanting and hoping you threw him a fastball. But then he would chase a slider, especially in the dirt.
Fouled back. That pitch was up in the zone. Yeah, grinding the handle of the bat into sawdust.
Yeah. Is hoping, because that means your momentum's going forward and it's very difficult to stay back on something off speed.
Beltran a good lead at first. They want to come inside. This one's fouled back. Down remains at a ball and 2 strikes. Didn't Jorge Bell hit 3 home runs on opening day in Kansas City?
And that was against Brett Saberhagen, who was throwing 94, 95 miles an hour also. He followed up the next day against Charlie Leibrandt with at least another home run and a couple doubles. And then he got a lot of sliders game 3.
Charlie wasn't quite as firm as Brett Saberhagen, huh?
Not quite.
Swing and just got a piece of that one and also got a piece of Hank. We talked about Hank a couple of times about that right hand exposed. You see it. Got him on the shoulder.
And Hank was very nice yesterday. He got an opportunity to talk to one of the catchers I work with in high school, a freshman, about catching techniques, and is trying to keep that hand from being exposed to a foul ball. Try to keep it behind the glove itself. And Hank is a great guy. He has a lot of time for young players and youngsters get an opportunity just to find out some of his techniques to being a major league catcher.
Going back outside, 1-2. This was fouled back. That one came back over the heart of the plate.
Fortunate to get that baseball back. He's looking, like I said, he's geared for a fastball. 51 pitches thrown for Blanton so far, 37 strikes. See if he can change speeds and get a ground ball double play here.
Beltran with the leadoff single, stands at first. Down in the dirt. He tried to force that one.
Yeah, he didn't look like he was committed to that changeup in. Do that one a little bit harder. 85. That becomes a more hittable pitch.
Nobody out here in the fourth. 2-0 Angels. And a full count.
Pretty good at bat work for Holiday here against Blanton, even though he's behind the count early on, 0-2.
Alan Craig is on deck.
First full count of the game for Blanton. 5 times has been ahead of the count, 0-2 in this game so far.
Beltran takes off. This is bounce foul.
Well, he had a running start. As soon as he saw Blanton lift the leg, front leg, to deliver the baseball, he was going. Once in a while, as a pitcher, you do that quick step off the pitching rubber, then fire over to first. You can get him.
Quick throw and a quick tag, too. Beltran takes off again, and he walked him. So 2 on, nobody out now. 11 pitch plate appearance for Matt Holliday after getting ahead of him, too. First walk issued by Blanton. Now Alan Craig will step up. He struck out in the first, so he's 0 for 1. Five strikeouts for Blanton, 1 walk, 1 hit, pardon me, 2 hits. Both by Carlos Beltran. It's a Cardinals team that not only very aggressive but very successful with men on base. This one's rolled foul. Men in scoring position. They're hitting .334 as a ball club. .371 with the bases loaded.
And Matheny's done a very good job allowing this team to be aggressive, jumping on fastballs, not necessarily preaching, seeing a lot of pitches. Since 1974, he would have the all-time mark as far as hitting with runners in scoring position.
One ball, 1 strike on the Cardinals left fielder. Angels getting 2 runs on 3 hits in the bottom of the third against Adam Wainwright to take the 2-0 lead. Aspo and Ibar with singles. Trout with a 2 RBI knock. This one's out towards center field. A towering shot. Mike Trout back at the wall, and the Cardinals are up now 3-2. Single, a walk, and a 3-run home run for Alan Craig, his 10th of the year.
3rd home run in his career off of Blanton in just 6 at-bats.
Just something you cannot allow, especially against a guy like Adam Wainwright, and with already a lead.
At that point, you definitely want that shutdown inning, especially Wainwright doesn't give up many. And this fastball's right down the heart of the plate. And Craig knew he got that one.
Start again, yeah.
Gets full extension, squared up that baseball, and a long way to center field.
Well, Yadier Molina looks at a strike. Still nobody out here. It's kind of how that Second inning started as well for Jerome Williams last night. Walk, single, walk, RBI ground down, double as Molina now gets the base hit to left field. He's 1 for 2 on the night. Mike Butcher will pay a visit.
Yeah, it's good to get back as far as trying to refocus Joe Blanton. He's had some great sequences of pitches throughout the first 3 innings. I still think when you got ahead of Matt Holliday, you just try to stay with the hard stuff, which you want to force. You could see his hands. He was trying to crush the baseball. You use that against him, see if you go off speed to get a ground ball, but credit Holliday for a very good at bat. Worked the walk. And then Alan Craig capitalized on a mistake by Blanton. Fastball middle of the plate and hits it out to dead center field.
Line conversation is broken up. So the Angels scored 2 in the third. Joe Blanton gives up 3 so far here in the fourth, looking for that first down. And Matt Adams will step up. Cardinal first baseman struck out swinging on a breaking pitch in the second inning. 0 for 1. Ground ball towards second. Should be 2. Kendrick to eyeball on the first. Double play. 2 outs.
Nice job by Howie to be able to get that redirected baseball and able to turn a 4-6-3 double play. I think Blanton might have got a piece of that going up the middle.
So nobody on for David Freese, a third baseman, also a strikeout victim in a second. Looks at strike 1. Three-two Cards here the fourth. This one's out toward right, playable for Hamilton. Makes the grab. The inning comes to an end, but the Cardinals strike for 3 on Alan Craig's home run. They lead it 3-2. Big and a box. Go big at a Jack in the Box near you with Jack's new Big Stack Burger. And by Kia. Visit your Southern California Kia retailers at mysocalkia.com. Halos down 3-2 as we start the bottom of the fourth inning. Alan Craig, 3-run shot, 10th of the year. Now with 66 runs batted in. Adam Wainwright will be pitching with the lead here, facing Hamilton, Kendrick, and Trumbo in the Angels' half of the fourth inning. Hamilton led off the second with a walk, the only base on balls that Wainwright has delivered tonight. Slow breaking pitches inside. 8-game hitting streak for Josh. Evens up the count.
So far, 2 curveballs against him. One missed the plate. That one bounces, but over the plate, though.
Cardinals did not move around a whole lot defensively. This one's cut on and miss. 1-2 now. Usually see a lot of overshifting with Hamilton at the plate, but Cardinals pretty much played straight up. Carpenter a couple of steps out at shallow right, second baseman. Swings and misses at that one. And it's a punch out. First out here in the fourth.
Boy, 4 curveballs in a row. Moving his wrist around after making no contact with all those breaking pitches. That's a good target set by Molina behind the plate, and Wainwright hit his spot. He wanted to make sure he wasn't throwing that anywhere near the strike zone as far as the height of it.
Good sharp bite to it as well. Kendrick steps in with 1 out. He will look at a breaking ball. Howie rolled into a double play in the second inning, 0 for 1. Kendrick 5th in the American League in batting average at the start of the day. Cabrera leading the majors at 364. 2-1. Chris Davis, Dustin Pedroia, and the Red Sox, by the way, coming into town for 3 beginning tomorrow night. And then Manny Machado is 4th at 320 batting average. Two one on the way. Bouncer foul, and that came up and ricocheted off of Kendrick, maybe even his helmet.
Another cut fastball from Wainwright. So he's on a curveball, cut fastball, sinker, followed by another cutter.
Type of guy with the stuff too that as a right-handed batter you start looking away, breaking balls, cutters away, and all of a sudden zaps you with that fastball in, as he did on Howie the first time.
I was going to say the exact same thing. He threw that fastball in.
Breaking pitch in the air to right field. Beltran moving back on it. 2 outs. Bases clear for Mark Trumbo with 2 outs here in the fourth. Trumbo popped out to Yadier Molina in foul territory. He's 0 for 1.
Interesting to see how Wainwright goes after Trumbo here now. First pitch, a cut fastball off the plate. He still has some good life on that 2-seam fastball. That one at 94.
Trumbo drives one out toward right center field. John Jay giving a chase. Oh, and a big fly for Mark Trumbo. We're tied up at 3.
That is some serious crazy power from Trumbo. That's the swing you want to see out of Trumbo, going the other way, right center field. His 19th home run, 53rd RBI on the season. Tried that 2-seam fastball again, but this ran over the plate. He was looking out over the plate, and Trumbo successful. We talk about sequences: cut fastball, 2-seamer, 2-seamer away. This time he catches up to it.
Cayasco bounces this one foul. Alfredo Griffin knocks it down.
This is the 5th home run that Wainwright has given up this entire season. The 4 have been the right-handed batters. That had to make Trumbo feel good, hitting the ball that well the other way.
Breaking pitch outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. 19th of the year, now with 53 RBIs. Kayasma 1 for 1 with a single leading off the third. Also a run scored. First home run for Trumbo since last game in Houston.
That one's the right field also, wasn't it?
Kayasma skies this one on the first base shot in foul territory. Adams, first baseman, lumbering over, makes the grab, and the inning comes to an end. But the Angels do tie it up. Mark Trumbo, one swing of the bat, going the opposite way for his 19th of the years. We've played 4, and we're tied at 3. Trumbo tying things up. 19th home run of the season. 2 outs in the 4th inning off Adam Wainwright. Joe Bland back to work. He'll face 8, 9, and 1. Descalso, Jay, and Carpenter. One ball, no strikes. Rough inning for Bland in the 4th inning. 2 singles and a home run. Also mixed in a walk. That is ripped out toward right field. Hamilton giving chase. Reaches up, can't play. It's over his head. Descalso in at second with a leadoff double.
When Descalso jumped all over that elevated pitch from Blanton. Hamilton, we've seen him make so many outstanding plays at the last second, looking up where the wall was and slipped, but he's got to the grass and the warning track.
Kayasma in at third base. Trumbo just about even with the bag at first, with John Jay at the plate. Struck out looking at a third. Shows bunt, pushes it on the third base line. That's a fair ball. Home plate umpire Adam Hamari making the call. Mike Scioscia is going to come out and perhaps get a little help from the third base umpire Dale Scott. If the ball is touching any part of the chalk, it's and you make contact with it, that's a fair ball.
And we've talked about how the baseball will always roll back into fair territory here. Real good look at this angle. It's going to stay fair, there's no question. Boy, that's real close.
Yeah,
I'm not so sure it was fair.
I'm trying to figure out what Kayasma was thinking as to how he played it. I don't know if there on that replay right there didn't look like it was. But he was very tentative, even playing in. Goes as an infield base hit, so 2 on, nobody out. And hands full for Joe Blandon trying to get a shutdown inning here. Top of the order, Matt Carpenter. Middle infielder's back looking for the double play ball. One 0 count. Carpenter with the strikeout and a fly ball to right.
Well, what you'd like to see from Joe is somehow jam Carpenter, pop up in the infield, then get a ground ball at infielder. Very difficult at this point to be able to make sure that this Del Scazzo doesn't score on a ground ball.
Throw to first. Jay back in there. Cardinals don't run a whole lot. 19 stolen bases last in the National League. Jay with a couple of them. He stands at first. Scazzo led off the inning with a double over the head of Josh Hamilton. Stands at third base. This one's out towards center, hit well. Trout chasing it down on the warning track, makes the grab, gets the baseball back in. The run will score, and the Cardinals are back on top, 4-3.
Nice
Second
job
fly for Carpenter.
by Trout getting that one in quickly. John Jay got too far away from the base. He's thinking about trying to go back and tag up and get into scoring position himself. He drifted too far away. Nice job by Mike Trout, not only catching the ball, but getting it in quickly to second base.
So Beltran will step up now. He's 2 for 2 with a couple of singles. Also scored a run. So Bland gives up the lead once again. This one's tapped foul. A ball that perhaps should have been caught to lead off the inning by Josh Hamilton in right field. And certainly a bunt with playing in at third base that should have been taken care of, but was it? .69 pitches thrown by Bland. Pardon me, 70 pitches thrown by Bland now. 48 have been strikes. Jay takes off, and it's fouled back. Fastball that was up.
Beltran had a pretty good swing at that elevated fastball.
Oh, 2. This is hit high and foul down the right field line. Way out in front. Count remains no balls, 2 strikes.
He's pretty quick on his fastball. I wondered at some point, will Joe try to throw that changeup away? Down and away at 83.
Seems like kind of abandoned it after the first 3 innings. It almost hit him. Oh. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And just trying to make sure that was down and in. That's a dangerous spot because if you hit him there, especially you fight to get ahead of the count 0-2.
John Jay, the base runner, over at first base. 1 run in for the Cards here in the 5th. They lead it 4-3. Pitch out, nothing's going on. 2-2 now.
Again, part of the deception of a pitch out. You got to try to keep your same delivery. Joe was extremely quick through his delivery. And John Jay recognized that and did not go. It was more of a quick pitch. Didn't allow him to get that opportunity to get out with a bigger lead and go.
Jay takes off. The 2-2 is a swing and a miss. The third down from Conger, who's not a time. So they get the strikeout for the second out. They weren't going to throw out Jay with the running start that he had. He picks up a stolen base.
Well, Conger had no chance to throw him out. It was a good catch and throw from Conger. Jay had such a big jump.
And now Holiday at the plate. Fly ball to center in the first inning. A deep drive in the first. And then an 11-pitch walk in the fourth inning after falling behind at 0-2. This one floated in the air on the first base side. Trumbo will watch it land in the seats. 0-1 count. Looks like the Angels starting to get some action in the bullpen now. This is bounce foul. 0-2. Michael Kahn, I believe, first man up.
Michael's been throwing the ball very, very well.
Oh, 2 on the way. Just off the end of the bat, foul. Wonder how much that 11-pitch walk in the fourth to Holiday's taxed Joe Blanton. Different guy since that plate appearance.
Yeah, and he was ahead of that count too. 0-2. 78 pitches thrown for Blanton. 55 of them strikes.
Swing and a miss. Down he goes, and the inning comes to an end, but not before the Cardinals retake the lead as we head to the bottom of the fifth. 4-3 St. Louis. Inning. Swing for the fences with the new Home Run Derby mobile game from MLB.com. It's available right now on iPhone and iPad. You can download it for free today.
Today.
Tonight. Tomorrow.
Every day.
Conger, Ibar, and Shuck. 8-9 run for the Angels here against Adam Wainwright. Halos down by a run. Hank loops one out toward right field. Beltran moves over. 1 pitch, 1 out to start this 5th inning. Hank now 0 for 2.
Boy, he almost got his pitch. It was just in enough to not fully get the arms extended to drive that ball further for Conger. I believe Ibar might be thinking in terms of a bunt here. See if these corner infielders can make a play against him.
Eric had a single over the head of the shortstop. He's 1 for 1. Eventually came around to score on the Trout base hit. That one is a strike on the corner. This one pulled, and Matt Adams with a terrific play in foul territory. It was going to be a foul ball, but it's the 2nd out of the inning.
Some pretty quick reflexes for Adams. Well, especially when you see the pitch before thinking of a bunt, so he's got to think in terms of maybe a bunt. Instead, he's got to catch a line drive, even though it was going to be fouled. Quick hand makes the play.
So 2 outs, nobody on for J.B. Shuck. Struck out in the 1st, had a sac bunt in the 3rd. 0 for 1. '60th pitch of the night for Wainwright. 3 strikeouts, 1 walk, 4 hits allowed. That includes the Trumbo home run in the 4th.
Haven't seen many of them from Wainwright. A changeup. Ran off the plate. First pitch curveball. 2nd pitch changeup.
JB rolls this one foul. It's 1-2.
Boy, off speed this whole at bat so far for Shuck against Carpenter. And against Wainwright.
Two balls, 2 strikes. The Angels with 2 in the 3rd. St. Louis countered with 3 in the 4th. The Angels tied it up in the 4th. Then St. Louis came right back as Shuck rolls it foul. A solo run in the 5th inning. Take that 4-3 lead. Two on the way. Fastball missing in. Full count. The Trout on deck. And Shuck flips one out to left. Alan Craig will play it on a hop. A single for J.B. Shuck. 2 out knock keeps the inning alive for Trout.
Well, the interesting thing you see from Wainwright, sometimes he'll bring the glove over his head, sometimes he just starts at the waist on certain pitches. You see that too often where a pitcher does that. That time he went over his head with his glove, and Shuck was able to punch that into left field. Just a pitch before, he starts his delivery with his glove at his waist.
Got a product of some time in his career. He was tipping pitches and trying to mix it up.
Could be, and a lot of times as a hitter you think, okay, when he goes over his head, is he going to throw an off-speed pitch? Well, he just does that by design too, to throw off the timing of a hitter also. And you don't see that very often where a pitcher will do that from the full windup. Obviously from the stretch it's going to be different.
Trout tonight 1 for 2 with a ground out to first and a 2 RBI single in the 3rd. John Jay very deep in center. 1-0 pitch. This is line to short. The inning comes to an end. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left on. 5 in the books. St. Louis up 4-3. Joe Bland with 7 strikeouts tonight. It started in the first inning, had 2 of them, Matt Carpenter and Alan Craig in that first inning. Then in the second, it was Matt Adams and David Freese, both swinging. Had 1 in the third. That was looking John Jay, the center fielder. And then 2 in the fifth to finish off the 5th inning. Beltran and Holiday go down swinging. 7 punch-outs for Bland, but the Angels play from behind here. Down 4-3 as we start the 6th inning. Alan Craig lines the first pitch out to center. And the Cardinals yet again with a leadoff man on board. That's 3 straight innings in which the Cardinals have had their leadoff man reached. The first 2 have scored. Mike Butcher back on the phone, and the Angels bullpen will scramble once again.
Boy, Craig continues to swing the bat well against Blanton. Coming into the game 3 for 4 with 2 home runs. So far in this game, 2 for 3 with a home run.
Michael Kahn back up and loosening. He was up in the 5th. Wouldn't take him very long to get ready. Molina's 1 for 2. Ground ball to short and a single. Ground ball towards short. Ibar feeds Kendrick for 1 on the first double play. 2 down. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Los Angeles Angels. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. Any accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Angels Baseball LP. Second double play that the Angels have turned tonight.
86 the Cardinals have hit into this year.
Matt Adams, the first baseman, steps in. Looks at a strike. Adams grounded into a double play in the 4th inning. Struck out in the 2nd, so he's 0 for 2. 4 runs, 7 hits, no errors, 2 left on for the St. Louis Cardinals. 3 runs, 5 hits, no errors, 2 left on for the Angels. Upstairs, 1 ball, 1 strike. 84 pitches thrown by Blanton. 60 have been strikes. Broken bat, slow roller to the right side. Trumbull way to his right, bobbles it. Had no business being that far to his right. Howie Kendrick was certainly right there. And that'll go as an infield base hit, I would presume. No, it's an error on Mark Trumbo. 4th of the year.
When Howie's going to have a better, easier play to come in on that baseball than it would be for Trumbo, because his momentum's going to carry him away from the throw. Difficult to tell the first baseman not to be aggressive, but that's a play right there. Howie's going to have a better opportunity to make it.
Keeps the inning alive for David Freese. This shoots a single up the middle. That's what you just can't do with teams like the Cardinals, is give them base runners or give them extra outs to play with.
That's one of those tough decisions now if you're Mike Soch. You know this game is on the line here, especially with Wainwright pitching it against. Even though they've scored the Angels 3 runs against them, St. Louis a very good, powerful bullpen.
Cardinals 3rd in the National League in staff ERA 3.32. Starters at 3.23. Relievers at 3.52. And we've seen some of those arms already in this series. Escalzo hits a single off the glove of Ibar. That'll bring home Adams, and it's a 2-run lead. That's exactly what we were just talking about. Just can't give them the extra base runners.
And also, they're very aggressive on a fastball. Fastball first pitch. They don't miss it too much. And again, with runners in scoring position, this Cardinal club comes through.
Mike Socha is making the walk out now. That's going to be it for Joe Bland. Perhaps a batter too late, but damage is done. Freese ends up at 3rd base, and we've got ourselves a pitching change. The Angels trailing at 5-3. special story on the rebuilding that continues around Moore, Oklahoma following the devastating tornadoes in May, and how youth softball and baseball have given families in that area a slice of normalcy and hope. Coming up later on Angels Live. Today, as we celebrate independence and the continued pursuit of happiness, you can still help those seeking assistance after natural disasters by going to redcross.org or by calling 800-RED-CROSS. Welcome you back out to the Big A. The St. Louis Cardinals now lead it 5-3 as Michael Kahn takes over for Joe Bland in our in and out, who's in, who's out. And he will face John Jay, the center fielder, with 2 outs and runners at the corners.
And his fastball has been very, very good. 93, 95, even 96 on his fastball. In a conversation between Callaspo and Kahn.
John Jay 1 for 2 tonight. A single and a stolen base in the 5th inning. Fastball is up and away. 1 ball, no strikes. Freeze the base runner at third. Descalzo over at first. 2-0. This should have been a fairly easy inning after the double play ball that Molina hit into for the second out, or for the first 2 outs, I should say. Bland made a fantastic pitch on Adams, broke his bat in a slow roller that looked like it was going to second base, but Trumbo, for whatever reason, decided to make the play on it, bobbled it. The back-to-back singles by Freeze, and Descalzo brought in another run. 3 balls, no strikes now by Michael Kahn.
He also wants some communication. Now, a lot of times as a first baseman, you go after the baseball until you're called off, and Howie, whether he called him off or not, that's a play where Howie would come in and say, I have that baseball, because like I said, it's a much easier throw for Howie coming into the ball than it would be for Trumbo to field that with momentum going towards third to throw back to first base.
3-1. Leadoff man Matt Carpenter's on deck. And he walked it. So they're loaded up now for Carpenter. Mike Butcher's going to pay a visit now.
A very difficult hitter now to deal with Carpenter up here with the bases loaded.
No place to put him. Carpenter tonight 0 for 2 with a strikeout, a fly to right, and a sacrifice fly in the 5th. Picking up his 36th run batted in.
Second baseman, number 13, Matt Carpenter.
Adding all runs and score here in the 6th inning unearned. Bland responsible for Freeze and Descalzo, but they would be unearned runs if they crossed the plate because of that error. It should have been the 3rd out. One ball, no strikes.
Pretty interesting play there by Carpenter. You have a force at any base.
Pretty good numbers in his career with the bases loaded.
That's why I'm pretty surprised he was up bunting, even though the element of surprise is there.
1-0 pitch. Looks at a strike. Been a while since Kahn pitched, Thursday to be exact, 2/3 of an inning. That was against the Tigers. Used quite a bit in that series.
In that game, he struck out Torrey Hunter and Miguel Cabrera to end the inning.
One ball, one strike, 5-3 Cards. We play here in the 6th with 2 outs, bases loaded. Now the 1-1. This is fouled back 1-2.
Look for that fastball, that last one from Kahn at 96. Huge batter in the game for Kahn and the Angels right here.
Now the 1-2. Inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Beltran on deck. 2-2 on the way to Carpenter. He lifts this one in the air out to left, shallow left. J.B. Shutt comes in, calls off Ibar. The inning comes to an end, but an unearned run crosses the plate as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. The Angels now trailing 5-3.
Albert Pujols struggling so far in the series against his former mates, 0 for 9, but is homered against all 29 other major league clubs. Most home runs versus any team in particular, the Chicago Cubs, with 54 home runs for Pujols. He did a home run against the Cardinals, hitting a home run against every single major league club. That cold hard fact is brought to you by Frost Brew Coors Light.
Albert looks at a strike on the inside corner. The Angels down by 2 here in the 6th inning against Wainwright, who has 3 strikeouts, 1 walk. Albert twice is grounded out, once to short, once to third. Inside out, this one foul. Fastball in on the hands and an 0-2 count.
I'm going to believe he might see another fastball in. See if he can get the bat head out.
Oh, 2. Breaking pitch, broken bat, roller to third. Freeze has it. 1 out. And it's been more so Albert getting himself out than pitchers getting Albert out, although they've made good pitches.
It's been a situation where Albert's been out in front. That front hip is opening up. It's all basically with his arms at that point to be able to drive the ball.
Now for his last 13. His last hit came in the first inning of Sunday's game. There's Hamilton. Looks like a fastball for a strike. Hamilton with a walk and a strikeout. 0 for 1. 72 pitches by Wainwright. 49 have been strikes. Lines this one and a diving catch by Matt Adams. Boy, the second fine defensive play he's made tonight. 2 outs.
The big fella can move. Well, that ball was hit well by Hamilton, destined for the outfield, but Adams dives and makes a play. Dive to the backhand, dive to the forehand. 2 great plays by Adam at first.
Felt a little tremor as the big man hit the ground. So 2 outs, nobody on, and here's Howie Kendrick. Howie with a double play ball and a fly ball to right field. He's 0 for 2. Howie fouls it off to the right. He opens up the count at 1-1. Sharply hit to short. Descalzo has it. Low throw. Adams digs it out. He catches everything tonight.
He is quick.
Yeah, no question about it. The Angels go down in order for the second time tonight through 6. The Halos down by 2.
AT&T Uverse TV. Check availability at 1-800-PIC-ATT. Rethink possible. By CarMax. Start the search for your next car at CarMax. CarMax. Start here. And by your Southern California Toyota dealers.
Top of the 7th here at the Big A. St. Louis leads the Angels 5-3 in the rubber game of this series. Michael Kahn to face 2, 3, and 4 for the Cards here in the 7th. Beltran, Holiday, and Craig. Gave up a walk and then got Carpenter hit the fly ball to left to finish off the 6th inning. Beltran 2 for 3, a couple of singles and a strikeout as he fouls the first one back. Redbirds with 9 hits tonight, 1 home run. Alec Craig a 3-run shot off Joe Blanton in the 4th inning. St. Louis up at that point 3-2. Angels tied in the bottom of the 4th with Trumbo's home run, his 19th of the year. The Cardinals have hit for solo runs in the 5th and 6th innings to make it a 2-run lead. Off the end of the bat, 0-2.
Went for an aggressive club. They do make some pretty good contact and work counts very well.
This one's popped up left side of the infield. Alberto Callaspo underneath it. 1 out. Groups of 20 or more can enjoy Angel games in the Trout Farm, presented by Smile Generation. Groups sitting in the section will receive an exclusive Trout Farm shirt with their purchase. For more info and to purchase those tickets, just log on at angels.com/groups.
Trout had that big 2-run single in the 3rd inning.
Matt Holliday, the DH, steps in. Looks at a strike. Holliday, 0 for 2. Fly ball to center. Strikeout. He's also walked and scored. Mentioned earlier, Oakland shut out the Cubs 1-0. Texas currently leading Seattle 5-4. That game's in the bottom of the 8th now. Texas came back. Mitch Moreland had a big hit there. They were trailing that game for a while. Oh, they fouls it off 1-2.
Wonder if Michael's going to try a slider here now.
Got him swinging. Down goes Holliday. 2 outs.
Let's take a look at our Carl's Jr. Sports update around Major League Baseball. Verlander hopes to regain magic in Toronto. He certainly did so. 7 shutout innings, 5 punchouts. Picks up the W. And Matt Garza sweepstakes. A lot of discussion for pitchers being possibly moved here very quickly, even before the deadline on July 31st.
He's got the trade beard working, though. There's the playoff beard, and then there's the Matt Garza trade beard.
Right at Fresno State.
Yep. 1 ball, no strikes on Craig, and the Tigers ended up taking care of Toronto 11-1. Craig 2 for 3 today, 5 for 8 in the series.
Michael Kahn challenged the last 2 batters. Get the swing and miss from Holliday, and a high fastball challenges Craig with a high fastball.
Called strike.
And that's a good hard slider from Michael Kahn. He didn't overthrow, stayed with his mechanics. Sometimes you see him overthrow and bounce this pitch. This is a perfect, true slider. Right on the outside corner. Not a lot of break to it, but perfect spot with that slider.
1 ball, 2 strikes, and 2 outs here in the 7th.
Just in case you're looking away, runs a fastball in.
He's got that elbow guard on the left elbow. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Down goes Craig. A 1-2-3 inning for Michael Cobb. 7th inning stretch time here at the Big A. And on this 4th of July, the Angels trailing by the score of 5-3. We're going to turn things over to Angels public address announcer Phil Hewlett.
This 4th of July, we ask for you to please rise and remove your caps. Prior to Take Me Out to the Ball Game, please join Mandy Pinto in the singing of God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans wide with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet home.
Mark Trumbo ready to lead things off against Adam Wainwright. He'll be followed by Alberto Callasmo and then Hank Conger. 3 strikeouts for Wainwright, 1 walk. 5 hits allowed. Trumbo 1 for 2. Homered in the 4th inning. 19th of the year. Breaking pitch down the line. It is hooking and it is foul.
Mark Trumbo's last at bat will give you an idea of how he was able to hit this ball out. Pitch by pitch, cut fastball away, 2-seam fastball starts away, catches the corner, allows Mark Trumbo to look away. Another two-seamer. He gets a little bit more of the plate, but because he was looking away, Trumbo able to crush that out to right field. His 19th home run.
One on the way. Slow breaking ball. It's a strike. 1-2. The Angels have action in their bullpen. Kahn so far has got an inning of third. Kevin Jepson ready. No 1-2. Bouncer to the right side. Carpenter, the second baseman, has one out. Let's go back to our Hyundai key to the game.
Talking about successfully it worked in the third inning. Follow you, follow me. It's about bunching hits together against Wainwright. Doesn't walk many. He's only walked one in the game so far, and he has allowed one home run. But to be successful against you have to bunch some singles and do it quickly before they get down to the bullpen against Wainwright here.
5 in a row retired by the Cardinal starter. Kayasma takes outside. The only stress that Wainwright has had really was that third inning in which the Angels struck for 2. 2-out home run to Trumbo in the 4th. 2-out single to Shuck in the 5th. But the Trout lined out to finish off that inning. Kayasma again pops it up on the right side. Adams, the first baseman, makes the grab. 2 outs. It's the second time that Alberto has popped out to Adams. So 1 for 3 night for Alberto. And Conger coming up. Great crowd here tonight. 42,707. One and 0 on Hank. Back-to-back starts for him. Home run last night. 0 for 2 tonight. Strikeout and a fly ball to right. Evens up the count. Rough series for Albert.
Certainly a very emotional one, facing his former team. They pitched him very well. Made him aware of a lot of fastballs in the first couple of games. Now a lot of pitches away from Wainwright against him.
Get another crack at it. In the 8th or 9th inning. Conger. That one off his leg. It's a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Two outs, nobody on. Breaking pitch. Rolled foul.
Well, not a lot of pitches thrown by Wainwright either. He's 87 so far. He has 4 complete games, 2 shutouts this season.
CG the last time out against Oakland. Retired the sign in order twice so far tonight. Full count. Rolls to Ibar in the on-deck circle. Now the payoff pitch. Hank rips one out toward right field, but playable for Beltran. A 1-2-3 inning for Wainwright. 7 complete here at the Big A. 5-3 St. Louis. Louis. The Cardinals will have Molina, Adams, and Freeze coming in.
Speaking of freeze, here's your Coors Light freeze cam. A bunt down the line by John Jay. Callaspo tries to field it foul. It was called a fair ball and ended up being a base hit for John Jay. Although it looked like the baseball might have just went foul as Callaspo tried to field it in foul territory. Freeze cam was brought to you by Frost Brew Coors Light.
Kevin Jepson takes over on the mound. Michael Kahn went an inning and a third, 2 strikeouts and a walk for him. A clean shaven, it seems like. Kevin Jepson, at least for him, he's been sporting that beard all season long. 25th game now, 1-2 mark, a 4.12 ERA. Command has been a big issue for Kevin of late.
And a lot of pitches away. I think at some point Kevin Jepson has to establish, at least show a fastball in enough to be able to open up that outer part of the plate for him.
Yadier Molina to lead things off. He's 1 for 3 tonight. Had a single back in the 4th. Takes low. 1 ball, no strikes. The velocity has been good for Jepson, but Command a different story. Came into Tuesday night's game. It was a 5-1 win for the Angels. Faced 3 batters in the 8th inning. Gave up 3 hits. Now retire, man. That was the inning in which Downs came in, struck out Adams, and then got the double play ball.
Brother Benji, a coach on the staff for the Cardinals for Mike Matheny, watching his brother in his approach at the plate. Former Angel, member of that 2002 World Championship Club. Boy, was he clutch with the bat also.
One ball, 2 strikes. It's going to be an interesting rest of the season in the National League Central, that's for sure. Cardinals, that we've seen 3 games this series, can hit, play some defense, certainly can pitch.
There's a good chance that both wildcard teams are going to come from that division.
1 out here in the 8th. Strikeout of Molina. Brings up Matt Adams.
See how good that division is. You have the Pirates 20 games over 500. The Cardinals is behind with 50 wins, and the Reds were rained out today with 49 wins. 3 best records. The Braves right in there too with 49 wins.
Adams checks his swing, bounces one toward third. Callaspo with the off-balance throw. 2 outs. Let's go back to our AT&T Twitter poll question of the series. And no surprise, Scott Spiezio, the runaway winner, 55% of the vote, favorite World Series Game 6 home run.
What a game that was coming back. So Russ Ortiz was taken out of the game by Dusty Baker. Angels come back. Some big hits by Spiezio in that World Series.
Nice of Dusty to give Russ the old game ball. Worked out well. Wonder if Russ still has that ball.
Pride of Montclair Prep in the Valley.
You got to keep that baseball, right? Freeze fouls it off, and it's 0-1.
Well, he did his part. He certainly pitched well,
right?
So why not keep it?
Exactly.
The Angels were not going to be denied that year. They just kept coming back. Didn't even win the division. Oakland had a fantastic run there, but the Angels didn't let them go away.
One ball, 1 strike. Freeze, the third baseman, 1 for 3. A single back into 6th. Halos in the bottom of the 8th inning have 9, 1 and 2 coming up. Ibar, Shuck, and Trout. 1-2 now to Freeze. Swing and a miss. Much better for Kevin Jepson. A 1-2-3 inning. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th. 5-3 St. Louis.
Possible, and by El Pollo Loco. Crazy you can taste.
The bottom of the 8th inning here at Angel Stadium. 5-3 St. Louis on top. Eric Ibar, J.B. Shuck, Mike Trout to face Adam Wainwright here in the 8th. Wainwright's retired the last 7 in a row since giving up that 2-out single to J.B. Shuck in the 5th. Ibar 1 for 2. One-0 count. David Freeze, the third baseman, playing in on the grass. Eric had a single to left center and a run scored in the 3rd inning, and then lined out to Adams, the first baseman, in the 5th. Adams playing toward the line at first base. This was lined to right field, a leadoff single. Eric Ibar is on board for J.B. Shuck.
For a long period of time, Eric Ibar has been squaring up the baseball. A couple more hits here tonight. The batting average up. Wainwright on a 2-seam fastball, but it's elevated. That's what you've got to try to do against a guy with that power sinker that he has. Try to bring that fastball up. It doesn't move quite as much.
Trevor Rosenthal getting ready. Angels have not seen him yet in this series. Shuck fouls off the first one. JB 1 for 2 with a strikeout, a sac bunt, and a single. The 1 pitch, breaking ball, lays off. .93 pitches for Wainwright. 3 strikeouts, 1 walk. Now 6 hits allowed. First time the Angels have gotten their leadoff man on since the 3rd. Freeze still playing in over at third base. 1-1 pitch. Breaking pitch, a strike, 1-2.
Wainwright took a little bit more off that pitch to make sure he was able to throw for a strike, and gets the strike zone with that slow curveball.
Ibar with a good lead at first. 1-2. Ground ball towards short. Tough double play. Shot. Gets down the line and they still turn it. 2 outs. Heck of a job by Descalzo and Carpenter. Both playing in a little bit.
We're both in position with quick hands to be able to turn double play against Shuck. Not an easy thing to do. It wasn't hit real hard. But a great turn from Carpenter. A good pick again by Adams at first. Great feed, quick turn, and a pick at first.
So base is clear now for Trout. Scalzo happy. Trout 1 for 3. A 2 RBI single back in the 3rd inning. Looks at a breaking ball for a strike. Freeze was playing very deep at 3rd. Came sprinting in as Trout showed bunt. Stick around after the last out. Angels live post game brought to you by your SoCal Mazda dealers. Michael Leaves and Jose Mota will break it all down. One on the way. That's hit in the air toward left center field. Playable for Jay or Craig. John Jay making the catch. The inning comes to an end. 8 complete here at Angel Stadium. Halos still down 5-3.
Summer, it's been a tight game throughout. Alan Craig gets a fastball from Joe Bland with 2 on, drives it out to dead center field for a 3-run home run. Back in the game, 3-2 at that point. Trumbo goes the other way. His 19th home run of the season ties it at 3 for this Cardinal club, especially with runners in scoring position. Very good. Descalzo off the glove of Eric Ibar trickles into the outfield. Solo runs in the 5th and 6th. The Cardinals lead 5-3 here when we look at the top of the 9th. It's Adam Wainwright once again on the road, very dominant. 98 pitches, just 3 earned runs, 1 walk, 3 punch outs.
Nobody warming up for the Cardinals, so you wonder if he's going to come back out and try to go for back-to-back complete games. Had one the last time against the Oakland A's. But here in the 9th, the top of the 9th, the Angels down 5-3. Mike Scioscia hands the ball off to Scott Downs. Descalzo, Jay, and Carpenter. 8-9-1 for St. Louis. 36th game. 1-2 mark and a 1.54 ERA. Hayaswa playing in. First one's in for a strike. Jepson, by the way, went 1 inning, got 2 strikeouts. Nice outing for him.
Yeah, very smooth on his delivery. A lot of strikes from Jepson.
1 ball, 1 strike. Descalso, the shortstop tonight, 2 for 3. Double with a run scored in the 5th inning. An RBI single in the 6th. Double is the one that went over the head of Josh Hamilton out at right field. Two balls and 1 strike. Sharply hit into right. 3-hit game for Descalso. 5 hits in the series. Leadoff man on board once again.
I wonder if John Jay will not be asked to square around a bunt again here.
Jay tonight 1 for 2. Asked a bunt in the 5th inning and eventually went for a bunt base hit as Downs will flip over to first.
And they wanted to see if John Jay would square around the bunt. Didn't give any indication that he was going to try to do so.
Joe's bunt pops it up. Conger makes the catch. Descalso hustles back to the bag. 1 out.
Continue trying to get that extra run across here late. And Conger bounced out of his catching position to be able to make that play on the pop-up. Thought process too right away to catch it and try to throw the first to double up. Runner first base but unable to do so.
One out, 1 on. Matt Carpenter, the batter. 0 for 3 tonight. Strike on a couple of fly ball out. Sack fly in the 5th inning. Picking up his 36th run batted in. The Angels in the bottom of the 9th inning will have Albert Pujols, Josh Hamilton, and Howie Kendrick due up. Mark Trumbo should someone get on base. And again, nobody loosening for St. Louis in the bullpen. Wainwright's only thrown 98 pitches so far tonight.
Mike Matheny has a lot of trust in his ace.
And as we say that, now there's some movement in that bullpen. He threw 112 pitches in that last start. Edward Mujica is their closer. Mujica pitched in game 1.
He's got a real good split finger fastball.
One ball, 1 strike. Angels took the early lead in the 3rd inning. Trout with a 2 RBI single, but Joe Bland could not have the shutdown inning. Single, walk, home run, and a single. First 4 batters he faced in that 4th inning. Lewis took a 3-2 lead. Trumbo tied it up in the 4th. And that sac fly by Carpenter in the 5th, but then back up 4-3. And then in the 6th inning, an unearned run. Trumbo committing an error on the ball that Adams hit. Should have been the 3rd out. Freese and Descalso followed with back-to-back singles, brought in another run. It's a 2-run deficit. Paying an awful lot of attention over to first base with Descalso over there.
4 stolen bases on the season, 5 attempts.
One ball, one strike with one out. Bouncer towards second might be tough. A high bouncer like that, Ibar is not going to get the relay throw off. 2 outs though. They get the lead runner.
Just slow enough, very difficult to be able to turn a double play there. Scalzo with a hard slide, late slide to make sure that Ibar was unable to make the throw to first base. Seen that slide a number of times from Peter Borges as far as making sure you go for that foot and unable to be able to plant to make a strong throw to first base.
Remember when Eric was hurt a couple of years ago, Casey McGee.
A real hard late slide.
Hurt his knee. Here's Beltran batting from the right side, takes down and away. 1 ball, no strikes. Cardinal right fielder 2 for 4 tonight with a couple of singles. He has struck out and he's also popped out. Two balls, no strikes. Big crowd tonight. Fireworks after the ball game. Looking for some fireworks perhaps at the bottom of the 9th inning. Tall order against what Wainwright has been capable of doing all season long, and especially tonight. If it is Wainwright or Mujica, who's done a nice job all season long as a closer.
Pujols so do though against him.
Beltran pulls one down the line, but foul. But first, Scotty Dowd's got to keep it a 2-run deficit.
No question. Cannot allow the Cardinals to score anymore.
Beltran, a .305 hitter from the right side, .303 hitter from the left side this year. Two on. Fouls it off to the right. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The Angels stay at home tomorrow. Welcome in the Boston Red Sox for a 3-game set. 7:05, 7:05, and 5:05. The game times over the weekend. Tomorrow it'll be C.J. Wilson up against Felix Dubron. Ryan Dempster going for the Sox on Saturday against TBA, and then John Lackey, Jared Weaver Sunday night.
2 good friends matched up against each other, John Lackey and Jared Weaver.
2-2 to Beltran. This one tap foul at the plate. He tried to wait out that slow breaking ball.
It's always been the one pitch to Beltran for both the left side and the right side. Always had a difficult time. A slow curveball. He's geared up to drive the fastball, even a hard slider, but a slow curveball has been a difficult pitch for him to make good contact with, especially when it's located well.
Swing and a miss on the off-speed pitch. Beltran goes down swinging. We will head to the 9th, bottom of the 9th. Pujols, Hamilton, and Kendrick coming up. The Midsummer Classic returns to New York with home field advantage for the World Series on the line. It's a 2013 Major League Baseball All-Star Game live from New York, July 16th, only on Fox. Bottom of the ninth, Adam Wainwright is back out on the mound, although Edward Mujica's ready to go. 98 pitches for Wainwright, 8 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs all earned, 3 strikeouts, 1 walk. Facing Albert Pujols, hitless in the series. He'll lead off this bottom of the ninth. And the first one's a breaking ball, down and away. Albert tonight has grounded out 3 times, and all 3 to the left side of the infield. Twice to third, once to short. Slow breaking ball drops in there, 1-1.
Boy, see if he can keep that front hip locked in enough to make good contact with the baseball. Wainwright's done a nice job of fooling him with pitches away, changes speeds.
One ball, 2 strikes.
See the indication that hip already open up as he tried to have better coverage on something away, but when that hip's that far open, very difficult to make good contact.
Now the 1-2 pitch. Just got a piece of it. Count remains at a ball and 2 strikes. Josh Hamilton on deck, Howie Kendrick after that. Albert lays off. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two on the way. Breaking pitch looped out toward left, and that is a base hit. It's a line drive in the box score, and Albert probably very happy to have that. He will certainly take it.
Yeah, he's got a little smile on his face, not exactly crushed, and Matheny was going to go out and make the pitching change now. Breaking ball, just enough. Be able to get that into the outfield for a base hit. And a smile going down the line as he gets a first hit against his former teammates.
Mike Matheny, the manager, out to pull Adam Wainwright. A spectacular night for him. A pitching change for the ninth. The Angels down by 2. Innings plus 1 batter. That 1 batter, Albert Pujols, to lead off single off the end of the bat, shattered the bat, but a single nonetheless. And Albert, I think, said something to him.
He said, "I crushed that baseball into the outfield," and Wainwright goes, "Oh yeah, off the end of the bat." It was a tough series, no question, for Pujols against his former club. That base hit allows Hamilton to come up with 1 swing, can tie the game. Hamilton, USA, looking for that fly ball into that section to tie it up.
Edward Mujica has been very good this year. No record at 2.14 ERA. 34th game for him. Has 21 saves. A perfect 21 for 21. 33 and 2/3 innings, 22 hits, has 30 strikeouts, only 2 walks. He's going to be around the strike zone.
And not necessarily overpowering. Still a good fastball, 90-94. Slider, very, very good split finger fastball.
Hamilton takes down and in. And it's 1 ball, no strikes. Mentioned that Mujica pitched in Tuesday night's loss for the Cardinals. Went 1 inning. He faced Hamilton, got him to ground down, struck out Kendrick and Trumbo. Kendrick is on deck. Trumbo in the hole. Albert over at first. And that is drilled out to straightaway center field. John Jay is back at the wall. Gone! Big fly for Josh Hamilton. We're tied at 5.
Just like we said, base hit. It looked like a line drive for Pujols, but Hamilton given the opportunity with 1 swing of the bat to tie it up. Mike Matheny can only look on. Adam Wainwright, a no decision now. This baseball is crushed. Look, it might have been a split finger fastball that stayed up.
This one back up the middle. That sneaks through for a base hit, so the winning run is on board. Howie Kendrick, a 1 for 4 night. (40,2007-07) all in the house here, waiting for the fireworks after the game. They get some here in the bottom of the 9th, courtesy of Hamilton, and looking for more as Mark Trumbo now will step up.
Well, we talked about follow you, follow me, base hit, home run, base hit, and Trumbo so big in these moments.
Trumbo 1 for 3, a home run back in the 4th inning. That was off Wainwright. Here's the first one. This one down the line, but tailing foul and out of play. An 0-1 count.
Tell you what, this place is loud right now.
Boy, the Angels faithful have been waiting for that moment for Josh Hamilton to erupt. Certainly did that tonight. At the very least, a tie ball game. Looking for more, though. Quick throw to first. Kendrick back in there. Oh, 1 downstairs. 1 ball, 1 strike. First blown save of the year for Edward Mujica.
Yeah, when you throw as many split finger fastballs that he throws, occasionally you'll get a splitter up in the strike zone, and that becomes an extremely hittable pitch.
Outfield straight around for St. Louis. Freeze guarding the line over at third. Quick throw again over to first, and Howie's just a couple of steps off the bag. Wainwright's line, 8 innings plus a batter, 7 hits, including the home run to Trumbo, 3 strikeouts, 1 walk, 4 runs, and all 4 earned. And a no decision for the Cardinal starter. Now the 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. There's that splitter. 1 and 2. And it all started courtesy of a broken bat flare to left by Albert Pujols.
When as deep as the outfield is playing right now against Trumbo, a little flare will allow Howie to go first to third.
Easily. No doubt. Callaspo on deck. Conger after that. Downstairs. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, Hamilton continues that his streak tonight with that home run. Towering shot to center field.
Was robbed of a hit in the 6th inning by the first baseman, Matt Adams. Nobody out here tonight, tied at 5. Now the 2-2. That's downstairs again. Full count.
Same decision now for Mike Scioscia. Do you send Howie Kendrick 3-2 with no outs? Having trust in Trumbo will make contact if it's in the strike zone.
Howie takes off the 3-2. This one's out toward left center field. That is going to fall in there. Kendrick keeps going on the third, and the Angels have the winning run 90 feet away. There's that play about having the outfielders as deep as the Cardinals have had them.
And if it's normal earlier part of the game, that ball is probably caught. Boy, this place is getting extremely loud right now. And Matheny going back out to the mound. This is a discussion what the defense are going to play right now. Do they walk Callaspo to load the bases, to force a forced play at the plate?
Go back and take a look at that 3-2 pitch that Trumbo got out to left field.
Well, he was jammed, but the defense and the outfield playing so deep, and Howie going. Good read by Howie. Reads it, sees it down, cruises into third base. In position just in case of a bad throw, he might have come all the way around. Like what Mike Scioscia did, he trusted Mark Trumbo to make contact. Because if he doesn't make contact with Molina behind the plate, it's a difficult task to steal that base.
And almost as if he wanted to throw that splitter for a strike, having seen Trumbo not chase or even flinch on the splitter down low. Infield is in for St. Louis. Callaspo at the plate. Kendrick the winning run at third. Trumbo at first. Mojica's ready. Here's Callaspo. And the first one. Swinging a moose. Chasing that first pitch. And it's an 0-1 count. Callaspo 1 for 3 tonight with a single back into third.
And if you're Alberto, you want to make sure you get a pitch up in the strike zone so you hit the ball in the air. Now, as far as arm strength in the outfield, Beltran a very good arm in right. Craig pretty solid in left. Jay, they will challenge him in center.
The outfield is in as well. The 0-1 pitch and the swing and a miss. Callaspo pulling off both of those pitches.
And he's even telling himself that. He could tell that by his front shoulder, trying to tell himself to stay back. Now, if you're Howie, be ready just in case this split finger fastball is in the dirt. Molina very good as far as blocking pitches.
Molina, as a matter of fact, just told Jay as well as Craig to come in the outfield even more so. Now the 0-2. That's down and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pujols with a broken bat single. Hamilton with a 2-run home run to tie it. Kendrick with a single up the middle. Trumbo with a single to left center. First and third, nobody out. Here's the 1-2. Callaspo flips this one down the line. Alan Craig moving over. There's out number 1 as Howie stays right there. Just did not look like a very good matchup from the first pitch on for Callaspo.
Yeah, that's why you need to show a little bit of patience. Force him to be behind the count 1-0, then you have a better chance at a fastball.
Outfield still playing shallow. Infield is playing in still.
Now, this is a pretty good matchup for Conger if they go after him, because he's a low ball hitter. And that discussion is going to be, what do you want to do? You want to walk Conger? The Conger is very good as far as getting the fly ball and getting the job done. And by Matheny already going out to a visit, he cannot go out and talk anymore to the pitcher. Otherwise, you have to go to the bullpen.
Conger tonight is 0 for 3. Strikeout and a couple of deep fly balls to right field. The Angels could use one of those tonight, especially in this situation here. Eric Ibar is on deck. Hank swings and skies one to shallow right. Boy, the impatience on both of those hitters as Beltran comes in and makes the grab. 2 outs now. Both Callaspo and Conger just overly aggressive.
But as a pitcher in a lot of these spots, the most difficult out is the 3rd out because you get 2 very important outs, and all of a sudden there's a potential letdown. Boy, and Ibar has been very, very hot of late. Batting average now up to 287. Got a couple hits in the game.
Yeah, but now needing that hit to bring home that run. Craig still playing shallow and left. Jay shallow at center. Beltran the same thing. Ernesto Frieri getting ready just in case we head to the 10th.
That's good patience. Bottom line is you want to force Higa to bring a fastball up. You want him to throw a fastball.
Ibar 2 for 3 tonight with a couple of singles. Takes a strike. Evens up the count at 1-1. One on the way. That's down and away. 2 balls in the strike now. "17 pitches thrown by Mujica, 10 strikes, 7 balls. He's gotten the last 2 outs of Callaspo and Conger on short fly balls out. Kendrick still standing at 3rd. 2-1. This is line to left. That will get down. Here comes Kendrick. Light that baby up as the Angels walk off on the Cardinals 6-5.
Well, we mentioned it. Eric Ibar has been clutch. His 3rd hit, a walk-off hit. What about a signature win to come back against the Cardinals? His 3rd career walk-off for Eric Ibar to come back against this staff. Great approach. He knew he got it. Got the job done. What an inning. What a comeback for the Halos against a very good club. This St. Louis Cardinal team started off by Albert Pujols and his run out to that field as he's able to help the club pull off and win this series against the Cardinals.
A 3-hit game for Eric Ibar, the RBI, his 33rd of the year. It is a game winner, and it makes Scott Downs a winner tonight. Adam Wainwright in complete control of this game from the 5th inning on, but that broken bat single by Albert Pujols started it. He got taken out, and Josh Hamilton with a 2-run home run tied things up. Kendrick Trumbull with singles, and then Ibar with 2 outs. The game winner. Hamilton, of course, the hero, has to be the hero. Finally here at the Big A with that home run. He's down on the field with Jamie Maggio.
All right, Victor, thank you so much. Josh, a clutch hit, a 2-run bomb to tie it up. Had to feel good for you personally to be able to come through like that for this team.
It felt good. What a better day to do it, the Independence Day. So it's exciting. You know what? It's fun playing with these guys, and it was just fun tonight.
Certainly earned the fireworks tonight, Josh. This team has now won 8 of the last 9 games. What does a win like this do to propel the confidence of this team moving forward?
Well, it's all about momentum. So if the guy at the top of the lineup is not getting it done, the guy at the bottom is going to get it done. So we kind of feed off each other, and it's been great this last little bit of stretch.
Talk about feeding off each other. How about feeding off this crowd? Never mind the water and the bubble gum being thrown at us, but how about these smiling faces of these fans?
Yeah, it was great. The fans come alive right there at the end. So it was good, and you know, we like to have it every night. We like to have a packed house every night, and we play good.
Well, enjoy it, Josh. Thank you.
Thanks, Fran.
All right, everybody, stick around for Angels Live coming up after the break with Michael Eaves and Jose Mota. We'll be right back.